Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a story that's about more than just business. It's about broken trust, the hard road to recovery, and what it truly takes to rebuild a partnership from the ashes. We're talking about Emily and Daniel, the co-founders of Innovate Tech. You might remember their story, a classic tale of best friends turned business partners, whose dream nearly imploded under the weight of ambition and miscommunication. Their falling out was dramatic. It wasn't one big explosion, but a series of small, painful fractures. Daniel, driven by a desire for rapid growth, started making unilateral decisions. He'd signed deals without consulting Emily, pushing the team to the brink. Emily, the visionary who cared deeply about their company culture and product quality, felt sidelined and unheard. The tension became unbearable, and their communication broke down completely, leading to a bitter split that left their company, Innovate Tech, teetering on the edge of collapse. Their dream was dying, and so was their friendship. But that's not where their story ends. It's where the real work began. Facing the potential ruin of everything they had built, they made a courageous choice. They decided to try again. But this time, they knew they couldn't do it alone. They sought professional help and began attending joint counseling sessions. Now, these sessions weren't magical fixes. They were grueling. Their first few meetings were filled with a heavy, awkward silence, each of them waiting for the other to speak. The counselor, a calm and patient woman named Dr. Evans, started by asking them to simply describe their vision for the company when they first started. Hearing each other talk about those early hopeful days was the first tiny crack in the wall of resentment. One of the biggest breakthroughs came during a session focused on communication styles. Dr. Evans had them do an exercise where they had to listen to the other person for 5 full minutes without interrupting, and then repeat back what they heard. When it was Daniel's turn, he spoke about the immense pressure he felt to succeed, not just for himself, but for Emily and the team. He admitted his fear of failure drove him to be controlling, because he thought it was the only way to keep them afloat. For the first time, Emily didn't hear an excuse. She heard vulnerability. When it was her turn, she spoke about feeling like her voice, her very identity within the company, had been erased. She wasn't just upset about the business decisions. She felt betrayed by her best friend. Daniel finally understood that his actions weren't just business. They were personal, and they had caused deep wounds. It was a raw, emotional session, full of tears and difficult admissions. But it was the foundation they needed to start rebuilding. Let's bring in Maya, their lead developer, who saw the whole thing unfold. She told us, honestly, when they said they were going to try counseling, most of us were skeptical. We'd seen the shouting matches, the icy silence. We were all updating our resumes, just in case. We thought it was just a temporary truce before the company completely fell apart. The office atmosphere was just tense. You could feel it. Rebuilding trust was a slow, deliberate process. It wasn't about grand gestures, but about small, consistent actions. Daniel started by creating a shared decision-making document. Every major choice, from new hires to marketing budgets, had to be signed off by both of them. It was his way of tangibly giving back the power he had taken. A real test came about a month into this new arrangement. A major potential client offered them a lucrative but rushed project. The old Daniel would have jumped at it, seeing only the dollar signs. And he did feel that old impulse. He brought it to Emily, his excitement obvious. But Emily was hesitant. She pointed out that the timeline was unrealistic and would burn out their team, compromising the quality they were known for. Instead of arguing, Daniel paused. He took a deep breath, a technique they learned in counseling, and said, "Okay, walk me through your concerns. Let's map out the resources it would take." They spent the next hour at a whiteboard, not as adversaries, but as partners. They mapped out the workload, the potential risks, and the impact on team morale. In the end, they went back to the client together with a revised, more realistic proposal. The client was so impressed by their thoroughness and honesty that they not only agreed but also signed a longer-term retainer. That moment was a turning point. It wasn't about one person winning. It was about them finding the best solution for the company together. They had navigated a disagreement constructively, proving their new skills weren't just for the therapist's office. And the results? They speak for themselves. With their leadership aligned, Innovate Tech started thriving. They launched Nexus, their flagship project management software, to critical acclaim. It was a product born from their renewed synergy. Daniel's drive for market impact combined with Emily's focus on user-centric design and quality. Nexus didn't just meet sales targets. It shattered them, doubling the company's revenue in 6 months. They secured a new round of Series A funding, not from aggressive VCs, but from an investment firm that praised their strong, transparent leadership and healthy company culture. The initial euphoria of the Nexus launch was intoxicating. Sales were skyrocketing, and positive reviews were pouring in. But just as the team started to breathe a collective sigh of relief, disaster struck. A critical bug surfaced, one we had somehow missed, causing data loss for a small but vocal subset of our users. Panic began to set in. The old Daniel would have locked himself in his office, barking orders. The old me would have been pointing fingers. But this time was different. Daniel called an emergency all-hands meeting. Instead of accusations, his voice was calm and steady. He laid out the problem transparently. "This is on us," he said, looking around the room. "Me included. Now, how do we fix it? And how do we make it right for our users?" I immediately stepped up, organizing a dedicated team to replicate the bug while another team, led by Daniel, started drafting a public apology and a plan for data recovery. There was no blame, only a shared sense of responsibility. We worked through the night, fueled by coffee and a newfound camaraderie. We kept our users updated every step of the way. It was grueling, but it was also the moment I knew our change was real. We weren't just colleagues anymore. We were a team. Maya saw the change firsthand. It was like night and day, she recalls. The meeting where they turned down that first crazy offer and renegotiated it? That was huge for us. It showed they were really listening, that they valued us and the quality of our work over a quick buck. The morale just soared. People started collaborating more, sharing ideas freely. The us versus them feeling was gone. It felt like we were all on the same team again. Truly, it's been a year since what we now call the Great Reset. Looking around the office, it's like a different company. You can feel the energy. People aren't afraid to bring up problems or pitch wild ideas. I see new hires come in, and they just see this vibrant, collaborative place. They have no idea about the tension that used to hang in the air, the fear of stepping on the wrong toes. They just know this is a place where their voice matters. Daniel's transformation didn't just save our company. It built a new foundation, one of trust and mutual respect. It's amazing what happens when a leader chooses empathy over ego. So, what can we take away from this journey? It's a powerful reminder that true leadership isn't about having all the answers or being the strongest person in the room. It's about humility, the courage to be vulnerable, and the wisdom to know that a team's collective strength will always outshine individual brilliance. Change is never easy, especially when it means confronting our own flaws, but it is always possible. Every organization, every team, and every one of us faces our own Nexus project, that challenge that tests our limits. How we choose to face it defines who we become. Are we building walls or bridges? Are we leading with fear or with empathy? Think about that. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this story with me. If it resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about the human side of business. See you next time. Later, Maya shared another story with us. A few months ago, Daniel's father fell ill, and he had to be out of the office for 2 weeks unexpectedly. The old Daniel would have tried to manage everything remotely, creating chaos. But this time, he called Emily, and they made a plan. He fully trusted her to run the show. And she did, flawlessly. When he came back, there was no power struggle. Just a simple thank you for holding down the fort. And welcome back, we missed you. Seeing that level of trust and mutual respect, that's when I knew this was real. They had truly fixed what was broken.